Good afternoon, Tiffy and Bethy. Today's video is brought to you by books. Display them in your house, make people think you're smart. This is pertaining to my book challenge for 2015, so this is going to be a book review. Batch 1. Let's start with this book. This is by Sky Alexander, and I remember I picked this book up a while ago, mostly because just the inside of it is just so dang pretty. Like, look at all the drawings and stuff. Like, everything's aqua colored, and I'm like, oh, I need it for aesthetics. I'm going to keep this book because it's about one of my favorite mythical beings, and also it's just aesthetically pleasing to my eyeballs. There are things that I do and don't like about this. However, the things that I do and don't like are the exact same thing. Why is there such an allure about mermaids? Like, what as human beings makes us feel so attracted to this kind of mythology and lore, which, you know, is interesting psychologically. A mermaid is kind of like the psychological, would be like the physical embodiment of sin, I think. Also, it has a list of every single mermaid ocean related deity in all kinds of religion and cultures in this book. I love this book. However, I think it's my own fault for building up so much anticipation and reading this that I was kind of like really deflated after I finished it. So I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with this book, it's just my fault. You get so alone sometimes that it just makes sense. Charles Bukowski. This guy up here. I need to read more about him, about his life. I would love to know more about him as a person. I do like his poetry. Not all of it. How can I sum him up? Bottle of whiskey at a typewriter with a cigar in his mouth getting a blowjob. Overlooking the smog of LA. Like, that's... Is there a word for that? And I don't know why, because sometimes he sounds like a total scumbag, but I just kind of romanticize him a little bit. Very different from the other types of poetry that I like to read, which is, you know, like the romantics, like John Keats or Alfred Lord Tennyson, Lord Byron, stuff like that. This is stark different from those. Like, I rock you off. I have to confess that I'm still kind of reading this. This is another, it seems like a reference book, mostly because I've already gone through the raw food thing and I pretty much know most of this stuff already. Unfortunately, the writer had a family tragedy and he feels that if the raw food was incorporated into the diet, then it probably could have changed a lot of things for him. I totally understand that. He goes into a lot of things like vitamin supplements, the protein myth, talks about the pharmaceutical conspiracies, and I don't really want to get too far into this because I know as soon as I start expressing my opinion then I get into like serious debates with people, but I'm pretty much on that bandwagon because of reasons. Anyway, you know, I'm kind of in the process of trying to get more into raw food, but I don't want to have to limit myself to eating that all the time just because socially it's a pain in the ass. And, you know, I do like other foods. Like, I will have some processed foods every now and then, and I may have indulged more than I should have over the winter. In my opinion, I feel like raw food can be preventative. It can also be healing. It can also be used as like a last resort. I had like 25 years worth of bad eating and a brain tumor to prove that I should be changing my eating habits, so this is definitely an inspirational thing. And because I'll be honest, waking up every morning to having a smoothie doesn't always sound appealing. Like, every once in a while you're like, fuck that, I want pancakes. I'll see you guys next week. I hope you enjoyed. Okay, bye. Do this thing. This is actually going to be a book review. actually going to be a book review. I read these. Oh my god, are you proud of me? Please don't puke on my floor. That'd be so awesome if you didn't. That's... Yep. Ah, fuck. Why you do this to me? Why? You don't care. You're just sitting there looking hot. About ready to get shot.